Look, I've already talked about how wrong it was for Charlie Kirk to have been assassinated. Political violence should never be considered acceptable. At least, not unless it's a reaction to a politician having their adversaries killed. Thankfully, we don't have a situation like that. Having said that, there are a number of people on the right, including politicians, who are blatantly arguing against the freedom of speech. They're arguing to cancel anyone who says bad things about Charlie Kirk, even though all these years these same people complained about cancel culture from the left, claiming that the left doesn't care about freedom of speech, which is true. The left doesn't really care about it. Pete Hegseth has been going on a rampage, directing the Pentagon to look at any service members who say bad things about Charlie Kirk online so they can be discharged. This includes people simply stating true things about Charlie Kirk, like the fact that he held and promoted misogynistic views, racist views, homophobic views, argued against people being empathetic, and pushed for Christian nationalism. And yes, I looked more into Charlie's positions, thanks to using custom date ranges on Google. And those descriptions I just gave of his views are accurate. He thought women should be submissive to men, which is a misogynistic opinion, regardless of if he thought they should be protected. He thought that 10-year-olds who get raped should still have to carry their baby out to term. He was against the Civil Rights Act of 1964. He believed in God's perfect law when it comes to sexual matters, which included punishment in Old Testament passages about homosexuals, and said the following when it comes to trans people. Someone should have just took care of it the way we used to take care of things in the 1950s and 60s. He also said that empathy is a New Age belief that causes damage in society. He held a lot of ugly beliefs. This doesn't mean he was a bad person, but his beliefs were terrible, and he didn't keep those beliefs to himself. He promoted them constantly in debates. Sure, he promoted them in a nice way. He didn't call people names. He tried to have reasonable discussions, but his beliefs were still terrible. If his beliefs were actually moderate right-wing viewpoints, like a lot of defenders of Charlie's beliefs like to claim, then this country is in quite a bad situation. It's rather scary to think that many people hold those kinds of oppressive beliefs. But as I've said in other videos, we're supposed to have a separation of church and state. And for those of you who hear that phrase and cringe because you're Christian nationalists who believe in revisionist history, let me remind you, the First Amendment says the following: Congress shall make no law respecting the establishment of religion, or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. That means that the government is not supposed to respect or promote religion. It's not just about the government staying out of churches. It's also about the government not promoting religion. Thomas Jefferson described it as a wall of separation. As I said in another video, "Under God" was added to the pledge in 1954, and "In God We Trust" was added to our money in 1955. It's no wonder why so many Christian nationalists love the 1950s. Anyway, calling out Charlie Kirk's awful beliefs shouldn't be considered the same as excusing his assassination. But according to some of these right-wingers, we're supposed to basically praise Charlie Kirk or shut up about him entirely. It's similar to die-hard Trump supporters who cry and whine anytime someone criticizes Trump, where they declare it as TDS. But in this case, they want people to lose their livelihoods if they criticize Charlie Kirk. They want people to be completely canceled over it. Most people on the right, or I should say most of these people on the right, don't really believe in freedom of speech, even though they claim to on a regular basis. Or at least, they used to. I remember when people on the Daily Wire used to make that claim. Yet I found out firsthand that if I make a response video to people like Michael Knowles, and I'm too mean about it, they'll put a strike against my channel. At least the left doesn't pretend to care about freedom of speech. I wish they did care about it, but neither side actually cares about it. One side just virtue signals about it constantly. So if you're someone who thinks that anyone that criticizes Charlie Kirk should pay the price, you don't believe in freedom of speech. Just saying.